Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Hotel Transylvania 2, and this movie came out in 2015, and it has all the same cast as the first one, and it does introduce some new characters, and overall, I enjoyed this one less than the first one. There were parts of it that I liked, there were some elements that were kind of fun, but overall, I just wasn't really invested in much, and there was a lot of bad comedy in the film, and I rarely laughed while watching this movie, which is really sad to say because in the first movie, sure, it wasn't great, but every once in a while I had a funny joke that kept me engaged, and I laughed every 10 minutes or so, maybe more, and every scene had something fun going on in it, or at least one thing that was good. And in this movie, it's less of that because I'm just not that engaged, and I don't think it was well written, and it was just the easiest thing you could come up with, and the story for this movie just wasn't that interesting to me. It was basically just training the new born baby to be a vampire, but that doesn't really work out because his mom doesn't want that to happen, and that's it. And there's really not much else that happens in the movie plot-wise, and it's just the same characters coming back from the first, and they have a couple more gags, and there isn't really much else going on. I do think the performances in this movie were good, and the animation, it's basically the same as the first one. It looks better because it's newer, and I do have the same issue with it when characters are moving around really fast. It looks like they're just made of rubber, and there's a point where a character is texting and it's just his thumbs are going all over the place, and it just looks like he's pressing the same button and it just takes me out of the experience. And I did not like the joke of Dracula just learning how to use a phone, and his fingernail gets in the way from doing that. I was not the biggest fan of the new characters that were introduced into this film. I didn't feel as though they added much to the story, and it just made it harder for me to connect to anything in the film. The music in the movie was really bland and forgettable, and it was basically just a copy of the first movie in terms of its structure, and not much was added to it, and I didn't feel like I was watching anything new, and this movie does have a lot of the same issues I have with the first movie, and it's just a worse version of the first movie, even if I don't think the first one's all that great. But I could watch the first movie again. I don't think I will ever watch the second movie again, and that would be the big difference between the first and the second movie for me, is that I don't see myself ever coming back to this movie. It has its moments. There are parts that I thought were really funny, but there are lots of parts that I just did not care for, and there was a lot of bad comedy, and there's nothing worse than bad comedy. And I know it's a kid's film, but still, I'm talking about my experience and how the film relates to me, and it just didn't work for me, unfortunately. And that's about all I have to say about Hotel Transylvania 2. It's a sequel that's pretty much just like the first movie, except worse and not as effective, and there wasn't really much I took away from it. It didn't do anything offensively bad, aside from bad comedy. It just was kind of bland and forgettable to me. And I'm probably never going to watch this movie again, like I said already, and it was just almost nothing to me. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Hotel Transylvania 2 a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Hotel Transylvania 2, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Friday the 13th, Part 4, The Final Chapter. I find that funny. The Final Chapter. Even though it's not the last one. But look forward to that. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.